This is the first example of skill 3, factoring and multiplying. We're going to factor this trinomial, and the first step of factoring is always to take out the greatest common factor. You're going to look at the three terms, and you're going to think, is there anything that divides in evenly into those? 4, 19, 5, nope, nothing other than 1. The first term has an x squared, this has an x, the last term doesn't. So there's nothing that we can factor out right away. Now we're going to make our x, and we need to think of two numbers that multiply to be negative, or 4 times negative 5. And 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. But we need them to add to be our middle term of negative 19. So what you're going to do is you're going to think of all the different ways that you can have two numbers multiply to be negative 20. Negative 1 times positive 20, positive 1 times negative 20. Negative 2 times 10, 2 times negative 10. 3 times, nope. Negative 4 times 5, 4 times negative 5. Negative 5 times 4, oops, there we are. We started to repeat. So we don't have to do any more. If we're going to have a combination that works, it's going to be one of those. What we need to choose is the combination of the numbers that add to be our negative 19. And our negative 19 combination is right there. Okay? This first one would add to be positive 19. We need that combination. Positive 1 and negative 20. Now remember that we call this x box. So after we x, we're going to put it in a box. And we're going to put the first term right there in the first box, and the last term in the last box. And then the magic numbers that we selected very, very carefully in our other two boxes along with our middle letter, because those two numbers need to add to be negative 19x. You're going to look across the top of the box, and you're going to try to get the greatest common factor right across here. And let's undo that and change color so you can actually see it. Okay, you're going to look straight across here and take out the greatest common factor. You can factor out an x from both of those, and x times 4x gives us this 4x squared. And x times positive 1 gives us a positive 1x. Please be sure to put the positive there. That's going to be important. You're going to look across the bottom, and you're going to take out those factors. Now each teacher kind of teaches things a little differently. This is how I teach it. I look across the bottom. Whatever this sign is here, we're going to take it out. And then we take out the greatest common factor, which is a 5. If you want to double check these things, x times 4x is 4x squared. X times positive 1 is positive 1x. Negative 5 times 4x gives us the negative 20, and the negative 5 times positive 1 gives us that. Our factors live on the top and the side of the box. So one of our factors is 4x plus 1, and the other factor is x minus 5. You put them side by side, that means it's multiplying. That's what factoring does. It connects things with multiplication. Now, if you were taught the grouping method, that's all right too. Okay? The only thing that's different in the grouping method, after you x, you're just going to write things out instead of a box in a nice straight line. And so we'll go 4x squared, and then we'll use these numbers down here. Plus 1x minus the 20x. That's just rewriting the negative 19x minus the 5. And we're going to group or pair up the first two and pair up the last two. In the first two, you can factor out an x. And what you're left with, x times 4x gives you 4x squared. X times positive 1 gives you that positive 1x. When you pair up these second two, we're going to take that front sign out, that negative, along with its common factor, 5. Negative 5 times positive 4x gives us the negative 20x. Negative 5 times positive 1 gives us negative 5. And it's a good thing you notice that these both have the same factor. So we're going to factor out the 4x plus 1, and what goes in the other factor are the leftovers, x minus 5. Either way, you're going to get the same answer.